Hey, this is Pranav here, and I today want to answer a question that I got recently, which is that, hey, I have been running this funnel, leads are now flowing in, and I don't quite know what to do with them. So, just to give you further context, this person who asked me this particular question is actually running a VSL funnel. Now, in a typical VSL funnel, you have paid ads on platforms like Facebook and Instagram, and the objective of the paid ads is to get people to a page on which the VSL is hosted. VSL is the abbreviation of video sales letter. The idea here, or the goal here, is that people or the audience will see your VSL, and it's typically a long VSL. It extends anywhere a bit from 10 minutes to 20 minutes. And then upon seeing the VSL, you hope to convert them. You basically hope to have formed some kind of a connection with that particular person, and you hope that they find your message attractive and and book a call with the sales team. So this is how typically this funnel works. And this particular person, he asked me this question, and he said that, okay, now that he has started getting leads, so there are multiple people who are coming to the VSL to watch the VSL, and of course not a lot of them are closing. You have a certain percentage of people who are booking the sales calls, maybe that is 2% or 3%. So what do you do? What do you actually do after that? The way in which you are, the different paths using which you're getting people to come into your world is lead magnet. Maybe it's a VSL, maybe it's Facebook ads. So right now I gave the example of a VSL, but it could be multiple sources, right? So leads are basically gathered from multiple sources, and there is a journey that the user needs to take from becoming a lead to becoming a customer, right? So lead is where they are, and eventually we want them to become customers. But what happens when they do not become customers? Let's say someone schedules or someone watches the VSL but does not become a customer. What do you actually do? So the typical approach taken by many is that they would have more, they would have more people coming in. So which means that they would increase the budget of Facebook ads. Maybe they would increase the organic effort that they are putting. They would increase the number of lead magnets or promote it more aggressively, and so on and so forth, hoping that more people come into the funnel. Because if more people come into the funnel, then obviously more of them will become customers. Well, that's where I want to call everyone out, because I don't think that's the right method. Of course, it's necessary to have continuous awareness, but we have to be mindful that only 3% of the market is ready to buy. Of course, it's a made up number. I don't know if the number is 3% or 1% or 5%, but at a certain instant, only a few people are ready to buy, and others may feel the need to buy at a future stage, at a further stage. So, what do you actually start doing about these? What about all the 97 people who have come to your VSL? They have given you their email address and their name. They have watched the VSL, but they have not converted simply because the time is not right. What do you do with them? Well, the answer is that you stay in touch with them. Why do you stay in touch with them? Because these 97% people are warm. They know about the brand. They are the right market, because if they have done the effort, if they have taken the effort of coming to your VSL and giving you their email ID and name. And when I say VSL, it's a placeholder, right? It could be any kind of lead magnet that you have. But now that they have shown the intent, now that they are the right target market, they it's instead of finding new people, can we cater to the existing ones? Can we cater to the ones that have already entered our ecosystem? So for them, the timing is not right, and they are the tight target market. So the best way is to stay in touch with them, and the best way to stay in touch with them is through a value newsletter. So what is a value newsletter? A value newsletter is basically a newsletter, an email newsletter that you send to your audience periodically. This frequency can vary from one email per day to up to one email per week and anything in between. When I say value newsletter, it is typically different from the promotional emails that you get, because you obviously have promotional emails to sell a particular product. But these value emails that I'm talking about, or the value newsletter that I'm talking about, is a little bit different, because it is not really optimized for sales. Sometimes it could be, but not always. It's optimized more for maintaining or building relationships. So one way in which you can use these value newsletters is by sharing value. Like I mean, it's in the name, right? So you share insights, you share ideas, you share behind the scenes content, you share case studies, anything and everything that will, one, increase the trust that you have with your audience, and two, be able to stay at the top of their mind. The other way in which you can use this value newsletter is segmenting the audience into different buckets, because your audience consists of different segments. For example, if I am launching a course on LinkedIn marketing, maybe one of my target audiences is tech startup owners, and the other audience is tech marketers or product marketers, and the third audience could be, I don't know, freelancers, right? So I cannot have the same message going for everyone. So one of the strategies that I have learned is that you segment these audiences into different buckets, and by segmenting, you can then have a separate email communication for all of them. So for the tech entrepreneurs, they have a different set of problem statements. So my campaign will be optimized for their particular problem statements. But for product marketers, obviously my messaging will be different and it will cater to their problems or their challenges. And the other third thing that you can do with your value newsletters is sell, obviously. Okay, so just to give you an example, this is a newsletter by Kathleen Bourgain, one of a very popular newsletter, and she goes really deep. She is a marketer I really admire because she goes deep into a topic and basically finds out why people actually buy, and then she goes into the psychology and then gives actionable or tangible tips that you and I can implement to ensure that we are able to sell our products. I'll highly recommend you check out this particular newsletter. The other favorite newsletter that I have is by Jonathan Stark from jonathансtark.com, and the he basically sends a daily emailer. So these are two different emails. On the left, you can see he is sharing a cartoon. On the right, he's sharing an insight. So all of these are the kinds of emails that he sends every day in order to build the relationship or deepen the relationship that he has with his target market. And at the bottom of this email, he has a section where he sells his products or he invites people to join his coaching program. And lastly, my favorite newsletter perhaps is the Emergent Marketing newsletter sent by Sean Twing, who is the business partner of Andre Chaperon. These guys are amazing at storytelling. They are amazing at segmenting people. So if you see on the left, there is a hyperlink which says click here and raise your hand. That's what I meant when I said segment, because only people who click here and raise their hand will be segmented into different buckets that I spoke about. So this is how you can segment into people into different buckets, and every bucket can have different kind of email communication. To summarize, don't chase new leads all the time. If you have started getting new leads, the approach is not to maximize or to get more new leads. The approach should be to build relationship with these existing leads, because maybe most of them are your target relevant target market. It's just that the time is not right for them. So it's a better strategy to build a relationship with the existing ones by starting a value newsletter. It's work, it needs dedication, it needs discipline. You have to show day in and day out, or maybe once a week. But let me tell you, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So my question to you is, will you start a value newsletter? Thanks.